Have you ever wondered why companies spend millions on high-tech vaults and digital locks, yet still end up in the news for massive data breaches? It's because modern attackers don't bother trying to kick down the front door anymore. They just find a way to trick an employee into clicking a link, or they steal a password, and they simply walk right in. Protecting a company used to be a lot more straightforward. Everyone worked in the same office, using the same computers, all tucked safely behind one big digital wall called a firewall. But today, the office is everywhere. We work from home, we log in from coffee shops, and we use our own phones to access company files that live in the cloud. Because our data is now scattered all over the place, the old idea of a safe internal network is gone. If there is no single front door to guard, the old way of building walls doesn't work. To see the problem, think of a high-security apartment complex. In the traditional model, there is a security guard at the front gate. If you have an ID, they let you in. If you don't, you stay out. The flaw is once someone slips past the gate, they are considered trusted. They roam the halls, gym, or mailroom unquestioned. Older computer networks were designed the same way. Once a hacker gets inside the perimeter, they can check every door to see what's unlocked. This blind trust, the idea that inside equals safe, is exactly what modern attackers exploit to reach a company's most sensitive information. Now, imagine a different kind of building, one where getting past the front gate doesn't actually give you access to anything. In this building, you have to scan your ID to enter the gym. You scan it again to get into the parking garage. You even have to scan it to use the elevator. This illustrates a concept called explicit verification. It means we stop assuming you're a resident just because you're standing in the lobby. In a digital network, this looks like multi-factor authentication, or MFA. The system asks for your password, then sends a code to your phone to prove it's really you. It might even check if your computer is in a known location. Instead of granting trust once at the front door, the system demands proof of your identity every time you try to open a new door. But checking your ID is only half the battle. Just because the system knows who you are doesn't mean you are allowed to go everywhere. For example, an accountant has no reason to access HR records or network settings. Back in our apartment building, your key should only open your own front door. It shouldn't give you a master pass to every other unit. This is known as least privilege access. It's the idea that every person should have the absolute minimum amount of access they need to do their job, and nothing more. By limiting what each key can open, we ensure that if one person's password is ever stolen, the damage is trapped within their small corner of the company. This leads to a major shift in how we think about safety. We have to stop trying to build a perfect wall and start planning for what happens when someone eventually gets over it. We call this assuming breach. It's a mindset where we act as if an attacker is already inside the building, looking for a way into the vault. Let's say an employee clicks a bad link and malware gets onto their laptop. In the old model, that malware would spread through the whole network like a wildfire. But in this new model, it immediately hits a barrier. The attacker tries to move from that laptop to the payroll server or the customer database. But because those areas require their own separate verification and keys, the attacker is stuck. This is possible because of network segmentation. Think of it like a ship with separate watertight compartments. If one section of the hull is breached, you seal the doors so the rest of the ship stays afloat. By dividing the network into these tiny, isolated zones, we turn a potential disaster into a minor incident that the security team can fix quickly. Now, checking IDs and keys at every single door might sound like it would slow things down, but in the digital world, these checks happen in the blink of an eye, completely behind the scenes. This entire philosophy, where we stop trusting people just because they are inside, is called zero trust. It's built on a very simple mantra: never trust, always verify. Take a moment to think about your own workplace, or even the apps you use at home. If a hacker stole your password right now, how many different systems could they get into before they were finally stopped? Would they have the keys to your entire life, or would they be trapped in the lobby? The future of staying safe online isn't about building a thicker front door. It's about making sure every single step inside requires a new proof of who you are.